That's a good question.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep, we're ready.
We are ready. I'd like to welcome everybody. Welcome Greg, Janet. It's good to see you guys.
Look, now Tim sits over there.
Well, I thought somebody else was gonna sit there. Sorry, Greg. You don't know. You're fine.
I understand.
I
Sorry.
didn't bring guests.
I'd like to start the Casson Park Board, meeting for April 15th, 2025. Does everybody get a chance? It's on. Everybody, is the light on?
Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry, I'm old. I can't see that far.
Okay. Everybody get a chance to read the, minutes from last time? Any questions, any concerns, nothing?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion?
I'll second it.
Second, motion is second. Any more discussion?
Any delays, Brian?
Well, it's usually me that
readers.
gets to do it.
Okay. Passes. New business.
Just one thing to add to the agenda, Chuck, is
No.
just make a D. I'm just gonna bring up, park surveys.
Okay.
I didn't really get a chance to talk to Ben about it, but Mayor Egler had something he had for me. I'm just gonna pass it down to you guys just to think about it a little bit, okay?
Okay. You want that new business?
Yeah, if you just throw it as a
Excellent.
D under that one, it's not gonna take very long.
We also have to add the oath of office for Greg.
Oh, yeah. Oath of office. We actually should probably
You wanna
do
put
that
that on
first
the old
then.
business?
Let's do that first.
Sorry.
That's Father.
Raise your right hand and...
I, Greg Kubal, do solemnly swear to affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of Park Board member in the City of Casson in the State of Minnesota to the best of my judgment and ability. For 3 more years.
That's right.
For 3 more years.
Because I know it's a 3-year term, I think.
Right. And your total years would be? Have any idea?
I think I've already got 33 in, so
Okay.
that would make it 36.
Good.
I know I've got 33, it could be more, but if it's a 3-year term, that's about right, so.
Close to a life sentence almost.
Seen some changes,
Yes.
seen some changes, haven't you?
Many changes, yes.
Which is good.
Every year's gotten better.
Yeah,
Every 3 years has gotten better, I should say.
it's good. You wanna do that now?
Yeah.
Should we just go, we're gonna hop around here a little bit. We're gonna go right to the wheelchair swing. So,
So Sarah and I started a little bit of it. We kinda made up a flyer, and then I'll let you guys pass those ones around. Those are 2 different ones. So we kinda came up with just like a flyer, and then Sarah made a brochure. Just kinda wanna get your guys' opinion on how we should move forward with it, if everyone likes it. Obviously, the brochure's not in color, but we can get that in color. Just kinda wanna pick your guys' brain about that, and then what the next steps would be.
Can we use we used to have advertising funds. Can we use some of those to purchase the color paper?
Oh, sure, yeah, no, I think that'd be a good use of them.
Unless there's another way to get
We're not gonna do quite
it.
as much advertising like with the pool this year, maybe.
Yeah, because have we done anything with community ad for advertising?
No.
No, so if we have funds for that.
And that's the hard part, is 'cause their deadline's so early in the year. If we don't have our ducks in a row, we miss that window for
Okay.
community ed.
Yep.
where would we be using these at?
Just pretty much, I would assume to give to businesses or anyone who's interested, so at least we don't have to sit there and explain, everything to them.
I think starting out, I would just take it to businesses, and then I think I would also want to make a post on, like, the CAM parent page, reaching out, targeting more businesses to begin with, before we would look for, like, $25 donations from individuals. I'd like to see maybe where we can give it businesses first and those larger donations.
Because I actually can volunteer, because we're gonna have a set up for the, memorial. And we can always have some extra brochures sitting around
Yeah.
and
I think
pass
like
them out.
anybody in the park board wanted to take some, I would take some, a lot of my families are gonna take some. Anybody who's interested in just reaching out to different people would be great.
What's your timeline now, Ben, for installation?
Well,
How long do you wanna let this?
ultimately, I would love to try to get this done by the end of this summer. With us being in that very beginning stages, I guess I don't know. If we can get this ball rolling and start seeing something, happen, I guess. I think it's a feasible to get it done by this fall.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think you say, okay, we're gonna let it go for 6 months. Most of your bang for your buck is gonna be right away if people are thinking of donating, and then, no, I don't want it to stretch too long, because I want it to get an achievable,
Yep.
something we can actually do too.
I think, we left that, the target number at 15,000, which is higher than what the cost of the swing and everything would be.
Sure.
So it's not that we wouldn't, so let's say we get it installed or whatever, we would still take donations because we had talked about standalone features along those sidewalks for like sensory things, and, there's always things we can add. You know, I think we let it run, we see where we're at, like, give it a few months, see where we're at. That will give us a better idea if this is feasible to get done this year, or we can get it done in the spring.
It looks like you're gonna kinda tuck it in across from the sand, box there.
Yes.
Were we gonna have a awning above it or something for?
So that was talked about, that all kinda depends on where we get with donations.
Okay.
Obviously, that wasn't part of the plan originally. Yes, I would love to add it. It's something that would be good, to have shade. Me and Tim had talked about, that's things that we gotta think about in the future, shade over our parks and areas that we can get it. So that's not, a priority. The priority would be get the area developed, get the swing in, and have the concrete poured.
Okay.
So is this base underneath the swing? Is that, gonna be the mulch? Or is
Okay,
that-
so the picture showing, so according to ADA, wood chips are compliant with wheelchairs.
Okay.
That's not realistic. So what we would do is pour a sidewalk up to the swing and put that, it's kinda like the poured in place, it's a rubberized material, the school has it, we have it at one of our entrances to the playground at North Park. So it would be a padded base on top of the concrete sidewalk up to it, and then it'd be wood chips all around it.
Okay.
Have we set up a bank account? Yes.
So I discussed it with Tim, we would just run it through the city, 'cause I have a donation, right, donations category. So if
That'll make it
people,
easier to track too.
right,
because,
if people were to donate, how would they write that? Like,
I would just, donations to the city of Casson, and in the comment line or the note line, for park swing or for
okay,
accessible swing or whatever however they wanna term it, inclusive swing.
okay,
And that could be put in the flyer and the pamphlet, so they know.
yeah, we can
Yep, I
change
did have
that.
a spot.
Yes,
for that
it's
on
bank,
there.
yep.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then I did talk to John Hanson at KLG, and he is willing to make a plaque for us of donors.
Okay,
It's a pretty simple one, I can send you a picture of. It's like the same one they're gonna put at the bandstand in Manorville.
okay,
We would need to build probably something for it to go on.
yep,
But he has some different ideas of just like, like 2 posts in the ground and then screw it on there, and he's willing to remake them.
okay,
If it gets ruined in 2 years, he's willing to reprint it.
okay.
It might be really good, just thinking about, you mentioned bank, you should hit up Alaris, because, they're having their little grand opening, ribbon cutting kind of thing, and I would think they'd be looking to do something locally, because, they're new, they just bought into town. Same thing when it turns over here at,
Bremer?
Bremer turns over to
Yep.
Old National, they'd be another, and, for them to cut a check for $500 or $1,000 it's gonna be way easier than even a small businesses, maybe you get $100, which
So,
is great, but
When's
those banks are really good ones.
when's
Because I know they paid for a lot of
Alaris'
the, MBT paid for a lot of that, new band shelter up in Manorville.
When's the Alaris's, like, opening?
Well, I will check and see, I know, I can ask Matt Bradford and see.
Okay.
I know he mentioned it at the last.
Because I know Matt would be a pretty big advocate for this.
Right, he'd be a
swing.
great person to advocate
So
for
he
it.
would help me, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when is that joint ventures meeting?
It won't be
Haven't gotten email
till
yet.
July.
Okay.
So I would like to see if we can try to get a start and get a number, because I know joint ventures will chip in. Obviously the dollar, they would like to see us have something in that bank account.
I'm sure they'd love a match at least.
Yeah.
You know, if you could get a match.
I'm hopeful people are more generous for this than we think.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be well on our way if we start asking.
I think we're kind of more at a realistic number.
Well, I mean, you know, the banks, Camtel will be another good one, you know.
Yep.
Camtel gives through Rochester Area Foundation. But,
I did apply for those the first round, but they wanted to see more of a match as well, or at least money, so I can try that one again, depending on their timeline. When would you guys be comfortable with me starting to ask for donations?
ASAP.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to achieve tonight was get approval of what we want to do as far as a flyer, and then I would like to get going on it right away. So I guess if people want the brochure, let's do the brochure. If we want the flyer, let's do the flyer. I think after seeing the brochure, that looks a lot nicer.
It does look nicer, but the pictures aren't.
Yeah.
the brochure would be nice for Festival in the Park, Miracle Days, stuff like that.
Are you going to have a booth, or are you going to have anything at festival to have people come ask questions or to make?
So,
We know we have that with our,
Yep, with KVM, we have our booth, and that's something that we would
They can
be
join us.
happy to
Yeah.
have that flyer at our booth.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to sit, that's fine too, 'cause we'll have somebody there all weekend.
Perfect. I'm hoping by that time we are well on our way toward funds, and,
Yeah,
but you know, it'd be fun there to like, say we're close to meeting this goal, we really wanna add these additional pieces or something else to make it better.
and that would be something that I would wanna look into, so let's say before, August, we've already met our goal as far as purchasing the swing and all those things, to keep pushing it and find some things that we could, give pictures out to folks saying, this is the standalone feature that we want that would cost, or this shade feature,
Yep.
I wanna achieve this goal first,
Yep,
and
I
then
agree.
go from there.
Mhm. So the city has the ability to do the color print?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can do that.
I guess if you guys wanna like have time to look this over more, and if anything you want me to change or reword or do it differently, let me know.
Honestly, I will start looking it over tomorrow.
The only thing just seeing it right off, I mean, I think everything's good, it's just making sure that the fonts are all what we want. You see,
Yeah.
I think there's 3 different fonts here, it looks
This was an
like.
AI developed one.
Oh, sure,
So
and I'm not
I-
saying it's bad, I just wanna make sure it's what we want.
No, I like that idea.
Because the only one I like, when it says Y Adaptive Swing, the font on that is maybe a little bit harder to read, just because of the big I dots, but other than that, I mean,
No, I'll
Yeah.
change them all to the same.
okay, that might be good.
And so I know color's gonna make a difference, especially for the pictures.
Yeah.
Like the GIS mapping picture that we have on there, are we able to make it a little bit bigger?
I can try.
I mean, color might make the difference as far as,
I think color would be good, I don't think you want it as big as this, Ben,
okay.
because you start to lose the resolution. This one's kinda looks a little bit
Blurry?
messier to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that if we give a general idea, I don't think people are gonna really.
I mean, if they're gonna give, they're gonna give. If they're not
Yeah.
interested, they're not gonna be interested. It's not gonna matter what the picture looks like.
Right.
Yeah, I'll make that a little bit bigger. I'll make it all just one consistent font throughout. That's a good idea. And then I'll resend it to you, and then if you wanna print it in color one.
Yep.
And let me know if it like looks right or not.
Are you gonna block out October then to work on this with time, or what?
Block out October?
Part of October, not all of it, but.
Oh, you mean if we get the funds to
Let's
do
just say
the swing?
optimistically, we wanted to have a deliverable before the end of the year.
I think,
what you're thinking?
I think it's a feasible project for us to do within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, getting someone to do concrete work, that's...
Sheldon's usually a little better towards the end of the year. Last year, I mean,
Yeah.
when it's warm, I mean, the nice thing is it's warm because you can pork longer, but it also means he's busier in Rochester too.
And my guys can form it up, it's just, I wanna make sure everything's to code as far as ADA requirements. But I think it's a feasible project to get done. Yep.
Is there somebody that has to, like an inspector, have to be there while you're pouring this or doing any of this, work, or?
Honestly, not that I know of. The only thing that might require someone would be the concrete work, but I don't think, it's not, you just can't have a certain percentage of a slope without it, so I don't think we would need an inspector.
I mean, if you could make it level to the sidewalk and to
Right.
the concrete that's on the other side of it, because I mean, the problem is, we start bringing WHKS, but it'll cost.
Right.
And, Brandon might be willing to donate some of his time, but he doesn't really do that stuff anymore.
Right. I don't think there's anything that would require us to have it inspected.
All right.
So do we wanna vote to
Anything
go
else?
for
We
the
need a
brochure?
motion to accept this brochure for the, what do we wanna call it?
Inclusive swing?
Inclusive swing?
I'll make a motion to accept the brochure and the flyer.
Got a motion,
I'll second.
got a second. Any further discussion? Okay. Motion passes.
I'll
I'll
fix
be
those
in-
things and resend it to you.
Okay, sounds
If
good.
anything else comes up that you guys notice, just let them know and I can fix it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.
Soon, hopefully.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
As she skips out the door. All
Have fun.
All right,
Now we can go back.
now we can go back. We'll go on up. Arbor Day, April 25th.
So that's next week, right?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Yep. Lions reached out to me, they're gonna donate $300. So we'll get 2 trees from Whitings. Do we wanna talk about a location?
Yeah, where you wanna go? Type of trees.
What do you wanna
What
do
kind
for
of
type
trees?
of
You doing
trees?
fall and burlap, or what are you thinking?
They'll probably be container trees for the fact of me digging a hole.
Sure. Well,
Well, where'd the location be,
we
first
did
of all?
Northeast Park a couple times the last
We did
couple years.
Veterans
That's
Park
probably-
last year.
Right, so probably those are probably okay. So,
1,200.
and we did Lions Park too in the last 3 years too. That was the one we did before, Northeast. So I guess it's up to you. I mean,
We've done the library too, haven't we, I believe, or over by the library? I think we did one year.
We can't use just a couple more up or around the swings and everything at the North Park?
We're good with the ones, my opinion is we're good with around the swings. Going into the next topic would be Wilker, which he's gonna take care of Veterans Park for us. I mean, we could always use some out at East Diamond. I'm nervous about taking up that back lot, so what, to
so
the
you know what's
east?
gonna go in there.
Right.
Because I'd hate to put one in and then less than 5 years later, we take it out again if they decide to put another thing in there. That's the problem with that one, because there's gonna be so much added to it in the next couple of years.
I just don't know how that's gonna work.
What about Northwest? There's not a lot of cover up there. If you're thinking in your own mind, if you have an idea of where you'd wanna put stuff eventually, I mean, you talk about sheltering, and a lot of times, like you go down south, you go to one of these playgrounds, they've got like the sail covers, because it keeps the sun off, you go to Texas or whatever. The ideal thing would be to have playground and you'd have trees. That'd be the ideal, like the tot lot is an ideal example where it's got lots of good cover from the trees. I don't know, if we had any idea of where you're gonna put that parking slab at the Northwest Park at all?
Yep,
You could put
so,
some trees kind of alongside that, maybe to give some screening, some shielding or something, I don't know.
well, we can get into that too, but I think maybe Northwest wouldn't be a bad idea.
There's a lot of work going on up there with the trail this year, so.
Yeah,
There's nothing there, yeah.
yeah. We could do 2 trees out there, that would
That'd
be
be kinda
good.
fun.
My yard could use one too.
Yeah, I'm sure it could.
It's right over there.
Hey, you know we offer the Boulevard program.
I know, I used it 3 times.
So I'm good with Northwest Soccer Field if everyone else is. I wanna do a variety, it'll probably be one maple and then something else.
Try to think about where people park their cars for like football and
Yep.
sporting events.
Well, if you were gonna build that little slab, I mean, you could kinda figure out like where that was gonna be and put it alongside it, that way it would have some,
Without trying to jump around too much, so we separated all of our reclaim and we have it down to what we're gonna use for a base. So if we're gonna do this parking lot, we're gonna do it right so that that base is the base before we pave someday down the road, right?
next year.
We will not, I can guarantee you, we will not have enough reclaim to make that parking lot the size it should be this year. I actually had talked with Charlie, maybe what they reclaim off 8th Street, we could maybe haul out there.
Sure.
And utilize that also. So eventually,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna,
Lamplin digging stuff up over here. and
yeah, we're not to that point yet, 'cause I don't wanna get a bunch of millings and not have time to deal with it.
Okay.
I think later in the summer when they start doing that.
Pave the whole park, you know, we all set to go.
But we're gonna get out there and kinda map out what we want for a parking area that's big enough, so that'll help. You know, like next week, we'll have to get out there so that we know where we want these trees. You know, we'll have to have an idea of what we want for parking. And then we'll go from there, but I think that's a good spot for a couple of trees. I mean, we could do a couple years of planting for Arbor Day out there.
Did you let the mayor know about the date yet?
No, I have not.
I can let him know next week.
Okay, I just wanted
It's Dan, it'll be Dan's first year, and he might be.
to pass it through park board before we got any
10 o'clock
further.
again?
Yeah, we'll do 10 o'clock.
But maybe he can make it.
I can let the Lions group know.
Yep, well, I was
you were.
talking to,
Okay.
yep, I was talking to Mark Packard the other day, so.
Okay. All right.
Raised area right here, right alongside of the.
Yeah, that might be a spot, otherwise I was thinking kinda like the north side, but I'm a little hesitant to do that yet until we know our
What
parking.
might go up there. This might always be the edge of the field.
Right.
That might be.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I don't need a
2
motion.
trees out at, the northwest soccer field,
Northwest
Correct.
Soccer Field.
maple and something.
Yeah, I'm thinking northern red oak, so we'll see.
Some with some color.
We'll see what, Whiting's has in stock.
Okay. We don't need a motion or anything on that, do we? I don't think so.
Does Houston's ever do trees?
They do, but they're always late to get their order in. The first year I started, I got 2 trees from Houston's, and then the other year, they didn't have their stock in yet.
Yeah.
Normally, I would go through the
No,
local.
I'm just,
Yeah,
yep, that reason's good. If he doesn't have it, you can't get it, so.
right.
You can check
All
before
right.
we order.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Boulevard Tree Program.
So our 2025 Boulevard Tree Program is ended. We got 24 trees from citizens, which came in under budget, so I got 5 trees for the city. I did 3 oaks, 3 northern red oaks, and then 2 Japanese lilac trees. And they will go off 12th Ave and 12th Street Northwest. So we have 5 retention ponds back there, so it's kinda by Ryan's house. In those townhomes. It's a empty boulevard that we'll try to fill up a little bit. I mean, there was room for 10 trees, but we'll go with 5. It was,
The one that abuts the,
yep. Kinda does that curve and then
'cause
eventually...
there's not enough room for houses there. It's-
Right, well, it's all ponds back there.
Mhm.
So we'll just try to get some trees planted in there this year and kinda block the wonderful sight of 5 little pothole ponds back there.
That would be nice. Is there any issues with drainage if we plant trees over there and?
No, 'cause that's right in the boulevard with the sidewalk, so there won't be any issue as far as that goes.
Okay.
One other thing to highlight on that program, so, you know, Ben and I talked about this a little bit, on the big construction project down here on Southwest, for folks on that project, you know, we don't know how many people are gonna want a tree, but we're gonna utilize that budget line item for some of the tree placements down there, so we'll probably look at increasing the budget a little bit next year, just 'cause we'll have more people requesting, so. 'Cause what are you seeing for a cost to the homeowners? You saying like, is it 150, 200? I don't know if it's gone up a lot.
I think on the high side, like for one of the more expensive trees, it's probably $185 for the homeowner.
What's one of the cheaper ones, 100 or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep. And which that, you know, obviously that might go up a little bit next year. It kinda increases in increments every year, but, yeah. So that's, you know, obviously that's something we're gonna have to think about. I haven't heard anything yet from that project. There was a little debacle today about a gentleman not wanting to lose a tree, but, so, that's something that I'll have to keep in mind for next year's, you know, who wants to be, Southwest might be a big portion of that budget line, so.
So, and I apologize for not keeping up with city stuff, but you're doing major reconstruction on roads again?
Yeah, that's a
On the
15-block
south.
reconstruct, south of Shopko and west of 57. Yep.
They already tore a lot of trees out.
Yeah.
You can see all the work they've started.
The nice thing is they tore that one by Shopko that's on my list of removals, so I don't have to do it.
How much did you save on that one then?
As far as money-wise, man-hours, I don't know.
You move that budget line into the replacements then for next year.
Yeah, so make it a high number.
So, all right. And that's starting this year then?
It's
Yeah,
started-
there's trees in the middle of the road right now.
Trees are down.
Yep.
Out, but, okay.
So when you go home,
I saw it right
see
by,
that big tree by
Hayes.
Shopko, that was one of them that was on my list to remove, so that's good that it got down.
All right.
Have you seen a lot of the ashes from people? I've seen a number of ashes kind of in some of the bigger existing neighborhoods where people are starting to take their own personal ones down.
Yep.
I'm a little concerned that some of these folks are gonna run into issues, 'cause a lot of them are dead now. They really
Right.
are.
They're bad. Well, I'd like to compliment the city on coming through up there by, First Avenue Northwest and the frontage road, in the right-of-way there. They cleared out that whole debacle of greens and everything. It just looks wonderful.
Yeah, well, it looks a lot better than it did, for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Chuck.
Okay, Wilker tree planting.
So Wilker goes to like a tree auction twice a year. He gets B&B, trees that are probably, some of, like, one of the maples we got last year was probably 3-4 inches in diameter as far as the stem, and then almost 20 feet tall. So, I plan on utilizing him pending on my budget lines, but to keep replacing those trees that we had removed from North Park. So those would probably go behind North 2. We'd keep going down that row. I'm trying to keep everything very diverse as far as species go. So we kinda got a broad, I mean, we have a birch back there, we have some maples, we have some oaks. I'm not looking for trying to keep everything uniform. I'd like to see us have a bunch of different trees in case something happens. So my plan is to keep building those up with his trees there.
All right. Park survey.
Sure, I just wanted to highlight that I think we're gonna take a look at doing some park surveying. So Mayor Egler, he highlighted with me a couple of weeks ago that, when he first came on the council, they had done some surveying in the community. And, I mean, so it's 15 years old now, and a lot of the things that they looked at that time, almost, I would say 100% of it's probably been taken care of, but some of the highlights they had were sidewalks, bike paths, parks, swimming pool, and public safety. And I think it might be time to take a look at doing some more as part of our master planning for all of our park system, you know, seeing what, you know, instead of being reactive, like we have a group come and say, well, we want an accessible swing or a pickleball court, something like that, it might be nice for us to get out in front and say, okay, and it's not, you know, surveys are what they are, because you can't get everybody to respond to them, you're gonna get you know, you send out 1,000 of them, you get 100 back, you feel like, hey, I got a 10% response rate, but at least it gets maybe a little bit broader group of people than it would if it's just individual special interest groups that come in, you know, and, because I mean, there's so many good things that you can do with the parks, and our parks are really the jewel for our town, but I think that, you know, based on what he's been telling me about what they did in the past, maybe we'd be taking a look at doing some more, of that, just to let you know, kind of, and I've got what he gave me here, so I can show you what the rankings were, but, anyway, something I'm gonna probably have more information for you later this year. You know, there's a bunch of different ways to get it out, through community, through the school, through the library, through different ways, so.
So just trying to be proactive in doing stuff with our parks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it also helps me when I go to the council and I say, hey, you know, this is a priority, you know, like, talking about Northeast Park, like, you know, we talked with the council last year about wanting to put that modular up there, you know, and kind of making it a priority, and then, you know, they give funding for it. You know, it's easier for me to say, hey, you know, we had 75% of the people who responded marked, you know, X, Y, and Z down as a priority, and then it's easier for us to say, okay, well, let's prioritize that as part of our park planning, you know.
Okay.
Do we still have a sidewalk program?
We sure do, yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like to put some more sidewalks in, Chuck, I'd love to help you.
No, I meant repair.
Oh, yeah, well, they budget about $50,000 a year.
It's still going on, okay.
And I
All right.
don't know, I think, last year they didn't do a ton. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, they did up a bunch off of the dump road there, where they had to connect in that stuff right by the horseshoe there, where there was some smaller chunks there. And in the past, what we've done is it's been a matching program for people if they don't have sidewalk or if they want to replace it. Now, like Rochester, they are doing a new program where they're just gonna do it and they're gonna assess the people for it. So, I mean, like, they divided the whole town into neighborhoods and said, here, you know, so you're gonna come and there's gonna be an X in chalk or an X in paint on your... When I was a kid, that was how, I grew up in Detroit, and that's what they did. The city just came through with an X, and you knew the next day they were gonna tear it out, and they pour it back, and you got a letter in the mail that said, here's your sidewalk.
bill, huh?
So we don't necessarily wanna go there.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it is important, like, certain corridors, like, you know, I live in the northeast side, kind of behind the school, and, you know, the 7th corridor, you know, going in on, you know, going east on 7th, I mean, that gets a ton of people, and I mean, that would be, you know, when that gets reconstructed, that we need to look at some kind of a sidewalk, either on the north side or the south side, because it's dangerous, you know, people walking on there, there's a lot of kids and everything too, so, no, I think we've got that program.
Well, you know, I'm out running every once in a while, and I see, you know,
I know,
I
like,
don't know if a whole lot of people
Run
know
over a can
about...
of spray paint.
since,
Well, yeah, I could.
don't do that.
Just don't start spraying buildings and walls.
Since I've been here, it's been a challenge to
Vendor.
find a contractor willing to do a panel here and there.
Yeah, okay.
You know, last year we utilized having Trevor Lamplin in town, and they had Concrete come out, and we did a handful of panels out in Meadows and then at an old folks home. And there's a lot in Meadows that need to be addressed due to the tree roots. So it's just trying to find a contractor willing to do that work here and there, because it costs X amount to move a truck so far. So that's,
All right.
that's kinda where we're at.
All right, northwest, old business, northwest parking area.
So, we've already kinda discussed that one.
Okay. Northeast playground.
Northeast Playground, so I called my locate in for that, we're getting ready to dig. We've got it mapped out as far as the area for the border and the wood chips. So we're gonna try to get rolling on that as quickly as possible, 'cause once May hits, we're gonna be hands-on deck to the pool, so, I don't know what to tell you as far as timeline. This might, you know, this is probably one of the bigger ones we've bid off, but I'm excited to see what we can do.
Went through the wheelchair swing already, Casson Aquatic Center equipment.
So, we've been going through all of our stuff, getting stuff ordered, getting ready. Superior is working on the heater currently.
Okay.
The heat exchanger comes in next week, that'll get put in next week, and as soon as we get water in the pool and can get that up and running, we'll be good for that. There are some things that we have found, like, for instance, the showers, it's not necessarily the plumbing or the mechanics of it, it's the face of the shower, they no longer make those parts. We got the last 4 parts from the factory. Now, whether they make replacements or not, we haven't found that out yet. It's just something for us to keep in mind. You know, maybe there's things that we have to do, like a locker room at a time, or however it be, get things replaced, since they're no longer making certain parts. So it's just kind of one of those expenses you don't see coming until you try to order something and they say, we don't have those anymore.
When do you think you're gonna fill it up?
So we're looking at, I have training, I think it's the 16th of May.
That's Friday, yeah.
Is that a Friday? Okay, so it starts the 16th, so we'll have it, huh?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the meeting, which is the 10th.
No, the meeting's the 10th, but we do training the weekend after. So we'll have the pool filled by that Monday and getting heated.
Have we started taking, passes and that kind of stuff? Are we already taking those in?
Not passes yet. We're having a problem with our merchant services on the website.
Okay.
We have been taking reservations for private parties.
Okay. Just trying to see where the numbers are at ahead of time for that.
I say we need to figure out a solution there pretty soon.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, if we have to take it here, we have to take it here.
Yeah.
Because we have to have that open, like, ASAP probably.
Yep, because it's getting close, and people are thinking about it, and
Yeah,
we don't want to miss
later
that.
by, like, May 1st would be the absolute latest that I want that open, because everything's pretty much ready to be launched on the website.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it'll be easy.
Because that only gives a month for people to, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it'll get busy, for sure. Regarding that same area, the shelters, did we change the rent prices on that or anything?
They increased a little bit, yeah,
Okay.
for pavilion prices.
I couldn't remember what they went up to. Somebody asked the other day, and I'm like,
$45.
it was $25?
45.
Oh, 45, okay. All right, thanks.
Are we seeing a lot of double-ups on the reservations for parties?
So far, all reservations that have come in have been strictly private parties.
Okay, so they're not seeing any, here's one spot, here's another, okay.
Not yet.
That might be our answer to whether it works or not, so.
There's still time, but it's,
Yep.
yep.
All
Curious on that, because that was something we had talked about.
Yep.
Anything else on the, pool? Nothing? Correspondence, when is the citywide cleanup?
May
It's,
5th?
first Monday, it'd be the 5th.
Okay.
One other thing I have to add is KMBA reached out to me about putting sponsors on the fence at North Park. Does anyone have an issue with that?
Are they gonna stay out there for the whole summer?
I would assume that they're gonna stay out there for the longevity of
Do
their,
they take care of them if they like rip off or?
I would have, yeah.
They handle it completely, they're just asking, can we put it on the fence?
Yes.
They used to do that when we were kids. They used to have that out there.
That's what I was
Playing,
actually in charge of. I started it.
yeah, yeah. I
And
remember being a kid out there.
finally passed that on to Festival in the Park, I think is where I passed that on for the monies that come in for banners and stuff, and wherever that went.
I have no issue with it.
Well, they stopped doing it, so,
It was a lot of work.
I mean, if there's, they're putting a fence there is a chance that you could have some kind of issue.
Well,
Are they
yeah,
putting the
there
front or
was,
the back of the fence?
but, there are certain types of,
Oh, I'm sure it'd probably be on the inside.
Yeah, there are certain types of banners, Abel's always does that wind beater, so the wind can actually
Go through it.
go through it. There's enough where the posts were and how they're staged, and you can't put them, yeah, there's a lot to it, but, you know, it's...
I guess they just reached out and asked if they could, and I said I'd bring it up at Park Board, so I guess I don't have the details if we
I
wanna
don't see why not.
hatch them out. And that's what I said, I said I'd better run it through Park Board
Yeah.
before I give you an answer.
It's not a liability in any way, is it?
Only if it would cause any damage, you know, and then the fact that they're advertising on something that's not really theirs. You know,
And that's, you know, just like when we did it for the softball association back in the day was, you know, same thing where some was damaged, we'd pay for any replacement of,
You charge a rental fee to rent the fence and then a space, and then that goes towards if there are damages to the fence?
I don't know about a rental fee, but I mean, maybe like a donation or something, like
Yeah.
$100 or something like that, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're getting something for nothing, and we do a lot for them already with those fields. I mean, they don't pay a ton for any of that, they don't pay
I'm
anything.
sure they're, you know, they're gonna make a revenue on it, probably pretty good revenue, just like the,
There's baseball out there now, since so they lost the field, they've been out there more.
We get a commission off
Softball's
that,
getting
though.
busier.
That's how it would have to go. I think we should do that. Take a commission.
you know.
Why not? If they're gonna get revenue off it, why can't we get something?
Ask for an in-kind donation. I don't know.
I mean, what are some things out there that they could do to help you at that park? You know, 'cause I mean, that's the thing, even if it's something to help their own field, like, hey, can they pay for a little bit of lime? Or can they help do a little bit of, I don't know, you know, I mean, I think maybe that's easier to sell to them, 'cause it's something they're using.
Right.
Right now, you're footing the bill for all of it.
So, I mean, just off the top of my head, there's two things. So we replaced the home plate on North One. That's $145 for home plate. And that's like a cheaper one. You know, they go all the way up to $350. So that could be something, 'cause North Two needs a new home plate. That yellow tile line on the fence edge, North One needs it all replaced.
That'd be a great thing.
So that's something, and we had some extra left over, not enough clearly to do the entire field, but, you know, that could be something I could talk to them about if they would wanna donate to, 'cause that's aesthetic, that there's a reason for it, same with the home plate.
As long as they know it's going back towards the field, I
Yep.
think that's fair to ask. And then give them a description of the items you are looking to update and how much they cost, and
That could use a real refresh, and those are both things that, I mean, they're gonna use it, so they
Yeah.
shouldn't complain about it anyway,
Okay.
I think, I don't know.
I know you drive by the West Concord field, you know, going into 56, it looks like with that advertising,
All the time, yeah.
you know, it looks like a ball field. It really finishes off that outfield and it finishes off the depth
Oh,
as a spectator watching too,
does the
so.
rink charge for space?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the hockey rink's doing it right now, they're charging. It's no different than if
Well, you
the-
said, I mean, if they're willing to do some of the things at their own field, I mean, that just makes sense to me. I mean, they take ownership of it then, you know, and, I mean, I'm not gonna make a lot of money on it, but if it help a little bit out for the
Will be a
field.
case, if you say, you know, go ahead and make whatever you want, 'cause I don't know what they're gonna charge for banners and
I
how
have
many.
no idea, no.
If we say we expect a $500 donation, you know, for the year, they can balance, you know, whatever they make, or some number, you know, because they are actually taking, you know, free
Well,
space to their
I'll
advantage.
I'll reach out to them and
See
say
what their
this
thoughts
is,
are.
this is what we discussed, these are the things that, you know, we could use or help with, you know. 250-foot roll of that
Yeah, well, how much?
tile is not that much, but it also
They
doesn't
could make a
cover the
donation
entire
to this.
field.
Sure could.
But I don't have that in my budget because that wasn't something we had talked about
Right.
until we get out there this year and it's like, oh, this looks terrible.
Or we could ask for a donation to one of our two projects that we're trying to fundraise for.
I think I'd like to keep it with the fields for now.
It's all over by
I
the
mean,
park.
talk to
yeah.
them.
Yep, and just see where
Like Greg
they're
said, I
at.
mean, who knows how much they're charging? I mean,
Right.
Well, we
I'm
got,
not trying to screw anybody over.
No.
But I mean,
So-
at the same time, if it's good for the field.
But there's
then they're-
maintenance that we could have done to the field that is benefiting them, so.
Absolutely.
I agree. Okay, I'll do
I imagine
that.
it would be their plan, but just asking that it's a uniform banner size, so it looks...
Yes, they're not, yeah, okay.
it might be something, just to have them give us a copy of what their program is for a banner, as if we wanted to put a banner on. That will give us, you know, a little idea of what the cost is to a person, what the size of the banner is to a person, you know, 'cause I can go back in my head and tell you virtually everybody was 15 years ago, or however long it was, it's, you know, it's a 4x10 banner. You know, they had to have the banner made, $200 put up for the year, and that was me putting up and me taking it down, me maintaining it, but we had pushing 80 banners on the two fields, and I think we went over to West Park, and did some of West Park too at the time. I mean, we had a surplus to say, okay, this field's full, that field's full. That brought in some good revenue, so just, it'd be good for us to know, and then that would create some uniformity on making it look decent too, so.
Okay. Anything else? Oh,
Did you ever get the address figured out for?
Yeah, so I think, you'll have to double check, Ian had to make a request through Google, because through the city, that's the address, is the correct one, but Google recognizes it as the 19th,
Okay.
so I did talk to...
He hasn't called back, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know, maybe search it on Google once and see if it's changed, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Ian said you would have to, he had to make a request to Google to have them change it.
So the pin on Meadowland Park shows on that guy's back slab right now, on my,
Okay, so they haven't changed it. 'Cause like when Linda did the GIS mapping and it shows a different address. So it shows, okay, so it shows 19th Street, but let's see, what house?
Is he the,
So it shows like 816 as the 816 19th Street Northeast as Meadowland Park through our GIS mapping, but Google shows it on whatever
yeah, that
21st.
first place.
Yeah, 21st place.
okay. He hasn't called back, I just.
Okay. I got Ian on it.
Sweet.
Google's not my strong suit.
all right, well, I need a motion to adjourn,
Make motion to adjourn.
in a second.
So moved.
When's our
Motion.
next meeting?
Oh, motion carries. Next meeting will be,
The 20?
20th?
It's like 20.
Yeah.
yep, 20th.
I will not be here.
Sad day.
I will be in Hawaii.
Oh, well, good for you.
During the
Sounds
summer.
way too warm.
I will be in